Chelsea 3, BATE Borisov 1. Ruben Loftus-Cheek enjoys a magical night and gets a hat-trick along with an outstanding performance. Plus, we finally got to see Callum Hudson-Odoi in a competitive game, as Chelsea make it 3 wins from 3 in the Europa League and go 6 points clear in the group table. To find out everything about the game as it happened, make sure you watch all of this review. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea from a review of the Chelsea 3, BATE Borisov 1 game. And this is how I like the Europa League. You know, Ruben Loftus-Cheek gets a hat-trick. We see some goals, even though not as anywhere near as many as we could have scored. We get to see Callum Hudson-Odoi. This is how, you know, I don't mind the Europa League at all. But of course, this is the review. There will be fan cams, there will be a vlog, there will be all sorts of content surrounding the game. So if you don't want to miss out on any of that, do make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea. And also, let's see whether we can hit 500 or more likes on this video. That'd be massively appreciated if you could smash the like button down below. But now getting into the review and starting it off with our lineup. And it was, well, a little bit different to what I expected. But obviously, it was in a 4-3-3 formation. The back four was the same as it was against Vidi, including the goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, the fullbacks being Davide Zappacosta and Emerson Palmieri, a centre-back partnership of Gary Cahill and Andreas Christensen, then a midfield three of Cesc Fabregas, Mateo Kovacic and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, with a front three of Willian, Pedro Rodriguez and Olivier Giroud. But getting into the game, we got an absolutely blistering start, even quicker than away at PAOK when we scored after around 7 minutes, but this time Ruben Loftus-Cheek made it 1-0 with just less than 2 minutes played. Davide Zappacosta put in a slightly back-cutting low cross from just outside of the box, basically right onto the penalty spot, where Loftus-Cheek was left completely unmarked and smacked the ball in with a solid first-time finish just past the keeper, who basically stood no chance of saving that at all. But unlike at PAOK away, we actually got another goal just a few minutes later. And it was Ruben Loftus-Cheek again as he doubled his goal tally for the night by making it 2-0 just 8 minutes in, following a corner taken by Willian. Very well taken by Willian, to be fair. And, you know, Ruben did really well to get to the ball after basically it felt like he met a fan inside the BATE Borisov box, considering how tightly their player, you know, tried to hug or did hug Loftus-Cheek to stop him from getting to the ball. But Ruben wasn't having any of it and got his foot on the delivery just inside the 6-yard box and put the ball over the line. Again, nothing the keeper could have done about it. But we didn't slow down there either. We kept attacking and kept creating chances, or at least some almost moments here and there. A Pedro shot took a slight deflection to take his effort just wide of the far post. Following another corner, Gary Cahill at the near post got a tiny bit of a touch on the ball with his head, and then at the far post, Andreas Christensen, where the ball fell to, just about couldn't touch the ball over the line, and BATE managed to clear it. But, you know, it was constant pressure by ourselves, and, you know, BATE really didn't do anything. And then it was actually quite funny, because there came a period when the crowd just started chanting shoot, you know, whenever we had the ball within, you know, 30 yards of goal. And because the players that obviously felt very comfortable with BATE not looking any sort of a threat, and they kept following the crowd's wish and kept shooting from rather silly positions, which obviously didn't lead to much, but it was quite funny to see anyway. But, you know, we also created some more actual other chances, in particular a good one for Mateo Kovacic, right on the half-an-hour mark, basically following a quality outside of the boot flick over the defender that was stood between Loftus-Cheek and Kovacic. But the crowd, instead of hitting it first time on the volley, which I think, you know, he should have done there, tried to stretch and control it, but messed that one up. And, you know, obviously, you know, nothing else came from it, but, you know, just the pass by Ruben itself kind of deserved the goal. That was quality. And then in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the first half, we almost got a little bit too comfortable as we pushed literally everyone but our two centre-backs up within like 30 yards of the opposition goal, which then obviously gave BATE, you know, the chance to hit on the counter a few times, which they were absolutely horrible at. But, you know, we still gave them a few too many chances to try for my personal liking, and probably also for Sarri's liking as well. But even with that, Ruben Loftus-Cheek still almost got his hat-trick 5 minutes before the break as he put a header, following another Zappacosta cross just wide of the goal. And only a couple of minutes after that, again, Ruben Loftus-Cheek almost making it 3, following some great work by Willian and a decent cross, you know, low cross from just by the byline, or touch the touchline basically. But the defender got to the ball just ahead of, you know, Loftus-Cheek. And then with Pedro, he got on the rebound and, you know, took a shot straight away, but had that shot blocked. And that was then basically half-time to 2-0. And like I said, it was the perfect start. And after that, a good performance, but without scoring anywhere near as many goals as we could have done against a very poor BATE Borisov side, quite frankly. And, you know, they basically just let us do whatever we wanted, to be honest. I mean, they sat very deep, but they never put any sort of pressure on our players. Even once we got within 20 yards of their goal. Like they just didn't even try to take the ball off us, a lot of the time. And even inside the box, the defending, quite frankly, was horrible. The standout player in the first half was without doubt Loftus-Cheek, though. Not just the 2 goals, generally by far our best player, but also Pedro and Willian with a good first half, moving and running a lot, twisting and turning BATE basically until they got dizzy. But also Zappacosta and Kovacic did well in their first half. Says Fabregas, though, on the other hand, had a bit of a mare at times. Like, he lost the ball way too many times. A poor touch here, a bad pass there, and a few misunderstandings with his teammates. And, just lost the ball too many times, and that led to kind of some sort of counterattacks for BATE. But like I said earlier, they were just poor at that, so they didn't come to anything. But still, it wasn't great from Fabregas, but of course you still had the usual incredible passes that you also get and also kind of expect from Cesc Fabregas. Interestingly, at the start of the second half, Loftus-Cheek and Kovacic swapped positions, meaning that Kovacic was now on the left and Ruben on the right. But that actually, changed again as the second half went on. I'm not sure when exactly it changed. I just noticed throughout the second half. I think it might have happened when we started making the substitutions. But, it did eventually change throughout the second half again. But then, would you believe it? Ruben Loftus-Cheek made the hat-trick for himself in the 53rd minute. Pedro ran into the box, actually got dispossessed basically. The ball then fell to Ruben just outside the box, and with basically no time at all to sort out his feet, he curled it into the bottom far right corner with a very tidy finish and great shooting technique. The keeper did get a slight touch on it and directed it against the inside of the post, but couldn't keep it out. When in all honesty, probably should have kept it out, but he didn't, and obviously we'll take it, and I'm sure Ruben Loftus-Cheek will take it as well. But still, what a day for our very own Ruben Loftus-Cheek. A poor opposition or not, who cares? Unless you're Messi or Ronaldo, you don't score a hat-trick every day against anyone. Against anyone. 3 goals in one night, that's very, very good. Soon after that, a good effort from distance by Willian that the keeper just about kept out was his last action of the game, as he was replaced by Victor Moses just a few minutes before Callum Hudson-Odoi came on for Pedro, and finally getting his first minutes in an actually competitive game this season. And he actually got a significant amount of minutes as well, not just 5 minutes in the end, but he got to play around, half an hour basically, so that was very good by Sarri. Let's mention BATE Borisov's first shot on target in the 63rd minute, but the effort took a deflection and made for a very easy save for Kepa. But generally, after making the substitutions, we got a bit sloppier, after Willian and Pedro came off. Quite a few more misplaced passes, and the only chances we created were either shots from distance by, for example, Zappacosta, or just Loftus-Cheek trying to take everyone on by himself. And quite honestly, he came quite close to succeeding a few times. He was incredible tonight. But there was one huge chance in the second half for Olivier Giroud with just under 20 minutes to go. And the ball kind of just fell to Frenchman inside the box after Moses took a very heavy touch when entering the box. Then was kind of dispossessed, but, the guy tackling Moses hit the ball against Moses from whose, chest or body anyway, fell to Olivier Giroud, who then did well to turn his defender and hit the ball kind of while falling over, but hit it way too close to the keeper, who still made a very good reaction save to keep it out. Put it too close to the keeper, but still a very good save. But to be honest, Giroud from 6 or so yards shouldn't even give the keeper a chance to save it. But, that's just the luck that Olivier Giroud gets, and that's why he hasn't scored a goal for us this season. And then our last substitution was N'Golo Kanté coming on for Mateo Kovacic after around 77 minutes, which obviously meant that Loftus-Cheek got to play the full 90, which I was very happy about. But what I wasn't so happy about at all was BATE Borisov, getting a goal back in the 79th minute through Alexei Rios, as he was completely forgotten about at the back post, basically following a well-hit free kick that Zappacosta so stupidly gave away. It's actually ridiculous. And things like that really pissed me off. The BATE player was stood right on the byline, literally looking at the fans, looking at the crowd, as Zappacosta closed him down and approached him. But then the Italian, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, just kicked him in the calf. How can you do that? He actually played quite well until then, or decently at least. Above average, I'd say. But that just, he threw it all away with that. What are you doing? Of course, we should have defended the free kick itself better as well. But you don't even give away a stupid free kick like that. But, I'm not quite sure who kind of lost that guy. He came running out of nowhere, basically. Probably Emerson, who was obviously the closest to the far post of the Chelsea defenders. But, still, more annoying than giving the goal away from the free kick itself, to me, is giving the free kick, away. That's just annoying. Just don't do that anymore. That's just stupid. And after that, there wasn't much more that happened. Loftus-Cheek, again, trying to get his 4th goal of the night, only failed at the very last hurdle as he went past, quite a few players again. And then seemingly wasn't sure whether to hit himself or whether to try and square it to Giroud, and then kind of did something strange with left foot when he tried to flick it over the defender and the keeper. Not sure whether to try to flick it in goal or try to flick it to Giroud. I'm still not sure. Either way, it didn't come off. And generally, after making the substitutions, like I said, the game died down a good bit, and there wasn't much that happened, and not much to talk about really, and that was then full time at 3-1. And as you could tell by, when I explained us conceding that goal, I'm still slightly annoyed about that stupid goal we conceded late on, but generally it was a good performance. Incredible by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, like incredible, even if it was against a rather poor opponent. 3 goals, like I said earlier already, doesn't happen every day, for no one except Messi and Ronaldo, obviously. But, 3 goals in one game, I'm sure he treasures it. He's been out on loan. He hasn't had anywhere near as much game time as I'm sure he would have liked as well, this season, especially after featuring in the World Cup for England. But, this is obviously the kind of performances that he needs to basically show to Sarri, well, boss, give me a chance instead of Kovacic, instead of Barkley, see what I can do. Because, tonight he was great. And, to judge whether he could do it against a better team, possibly against Burnley on Sunday, probably not because he played the full 90 today. But, in a game like that, give it a try. Why not? He was great today, and I think, a performance like that warrants a chance in the Premier League, and the start as well it warrants, in my opinion. But, obviously, like I said, a good performance. But as is the case in most of our games, we didn't score anywhere near as many goals as we could have done. Generally, we were very comfortable. BATE were just very poor, like I said already. Basically didn't threaten us at all, except for when they actually scored. And you could see quite visibly that them being so poor made our intensity drop quite a lot as the game went on, longer and longer basically. But also maybe we were just conserving some energy to an extent, which, also fair enough. We've got a long old period coming up, obviously. But yeah, a good performance. 3 more points added in the table. 9 from 9 points. 3 wins from 3 games. And, with all of the other 3 teams actually being level on 3 points now, as VD won away at PAOK, which, fair play to them. Not a result I expected them to get. And, we're not fully through yet, but, we're pretty much almost there. And like I said, a 3-1 win, a hat-trick by a product of our own youth, Loftus-Cheek, and playing the full 90 as well, which I always love to see. And Hudson-Odoi coming on, even though he kind of tried a little bit too hard when he was on the pitch. Lost the ball a few too many times, but still a few glimpses of magic, and hopefully only the first of many more appearances this season. But to be honest, that's really it from me. I'm happy with tonight. Leave me your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Did anyone, except obviously Ruben Loftus-Cheek, stand out to you? Leave it all down in the comment section below. Let's see, like I said in the beginning, whether we can hit 500 or more likes in this video, so smash the like button down below. I'd massively appreciate that. Also, don't forget to check out my social media, which is last1507 on both Instagram and Twitter, as you can see over here, and also the links to both of them will be down in the description below. And of course, this is YouTube, so if you haven't already, do make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads, just so you don't miss any of our future uploads. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, up the Ruben, and I'll see you next time.